are the Italians. Where would the world be without them? They've given us the work of Leonardo and Michelangelo. They've given us the opera, Giorgio Armani and pizza. For hundreds of years now, the Italians have captured the imagination of the entire world. But they've hit a bit of a snag in India.
So we all love pizza and Sonia Gandhi is a great person. But the Italians have had a big problem in India, and that problem is Fiat. They have launched a couple of great cars in the Indian market like the 1.6-litre Palio, but things haven't really worked out. The cash registers haven't rung, and the fact remains that the most popular Fiat in the Indian market remains the Premier Padmini. But then if Michelangelo had given up, we wouldn't have had the Sistine Chapel. So in true Italian fashion, Fiat is trying again with this.
This is the all-new Fiat Linea, and it's a lot of things. It's a sedan, sure. It's Fiat's most pronounced attempt at storming the Indian market in ages. And most importantly, it's oh so Italian.
Now the Italians in Fiat especially don't believe just in pure functionality. If they did, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel would have been white instead of the masterpiece that it is. Now the Italians are artists, and Fiat's no exception. Now you could argue about whether the Linea looks good or not, but there's no doubt that it in fact looks interesting, striking even. It's all soft lines and flowing curves, this, and like a beautiful Italian woman, the Linea's got curves in all the right places. Though we won't say anything about that large rear end, but according to us, it's more Jennifer Lopez than Monica Bellucci.
And unlike certain earlier Fiats, it's a good car to be inside too.
Now take the Fiat Palio for example. It has one of the most boring interiors in the world. There really isn't anything there. But with this, Fiat's made an effort. I like the two-tone plastics. I like the center console. I open the door to step in and I feel welcome, which I like. I mean, there's this nifty Blue and Me Bluetooth feature here that syncs with my mobile phone. Now this car doesn't just want to be friends with me, it even wants to be friends with my cell phone. Now the Linea's got the same 86 bhp 1.3-litre diesel engine that's being used on the Swift, the Indica Vista and Fiat's own Palio. Now the one thing that those cars have in common is that they're all hatchbacks, so they're smaller and way less than the Linea.
So you'd be right to assume that this car feels underpowered because it is. I mean, every time I put my foot down, I want more, but I just don't get it. It's funny because if you pop open the engine bay, you can tell it's been designed for a larger engine.
There's so much room in here for a much larger engine, so why the smaller engine then? Well, maybe it's because Fiat wants so desperately for the Linea to succeed that they're considering the fuel-conscious Indian consumer. And so it seems that what Fiat have done is sacrifice some amount of power for better fuel economy. If the Linea proves one thing, it's just that it's not the size of the boat that matters, but the motion of the ocean. Everything here has been set up to optimize the way those 90 horses are used. Power delivery is smooth, quick. There's enough torque here for that quick highway overtake. But most impressive really is the way this car handles. It's balanced, it's tough, and it's willing to be thrown around corners.
Now on paper, the Linea is looking to take on the Honda City and the Maruti Suzuki SX4. But there's one huge difference between them and this car.
Now if I was driving one of those cars and someone called me, I'd say, yeah, I'm driving, as in I'm driving to work or I'm driving to pick up some groceries. In this car, if you called me, I'd say, I'm not driving, I'm going out for a drive. As in, I'm doing it just because there's an open road and I have a Fiat Linea.
So we've established that the Linea is fantastic, but since it's a Fiat and this is India, there are two things to consider: the price and the company's reputation for poor after-sales service.
Now Fiat's tied up with Tata for development and after-sales service, so things are definitely going to go up in that department. And price just isn't a worry. Prices for the Linea start at 5.9 lakhs for the petrol, while this top-of-the-line diesel, aptly called the Emotion, costs 8.1 lakh rupees. So to sum it up, it seems that this car is like one of those pizzas that you order with either chicken tikka or paneer on it. Italian in a sense, but Indianized to suit the local palate. Of all the cars that Fiat's launched in India, this car deserves to succeed the most. And if it doesn't, and I'm not a superstitious guy, but I'd say that Fiat is just jinxed.